this is a message for the divided right, because we do have a divided right. We have an enormously divided right. And I think that you would divide it up into three subsets. You have the first, the early adopters to Trump. I mentioned this on radio today. You have the early adopters to Donald Trump. These are the people who got out and they endorsed Donald Trump even at the very beginning of this presidential race, even when you still had the Rick Perrys and the Marco Rubios, and even when Mike Pence was his own candidate early on in this Republican election. You have that group. Secondly, you have the reluctant Trump supporters. These were the people who Trump was not their candidate in the primary. Trump was not their candidate. But as we went forward in the general, they realized that you go to war with the soldiers that you have. And winning is also a virtue. You have that subset too. And then you have the third group. And those are the never Trumpers. It's a small group within the right. It's a passionate group. It's a group that has fought for principle longer and harder than a lot of the people who are criticizing them today, even some on this network. And I think that we need to exhibit grace going forward. We need to be gracious, and we need to demonstrate grace. The folks who were the early adopters of Trump, you all don't need to be the mean girls of the Republican Party. You all don't need to be the bouncers of the Republican Party, because you need that unity. It's great to celebrate the victories that we have now. House, Senate, and White House, these are fantastic things, but it's a slim majority in the Senate. And make no mistake, some of these senators are coming from purple states. Some of these senators are going to have the heat upon them when they go up for re-election. And they're going to be a little hesitant to get behind a repeal and replace of Obamacare, the likes of which Mitch McConnell has already promised. You're going to need the help from those other two subsets. For the reluctant voters, don't get angry. For those who were the early adopters, don't get angry at the reluctant ones or the never Trumpers. And the reluctant ones, you realized what's at stake. I get that. And for the never Trumpers, you also need to show some grace. And I think that you need to give the president-elect a chance. And in turn, you need to give voters a chance. Now, while I personally do not put my faith in men as a Christian, I am with this particular decision in our democratic process in our constitutional republic. I like to trust the voters more than I trust anybody in Washington, D.C.